He had to gather his canes to his sides, slip his arms through the straps he had contrived, and haul himself painstakingly upward. Any of the others would have been glad to offer a helping hand, of course, but they knew better than to do so. They were all fiercely independent, despite their various disabilities. Vincent, for example, would leave the room and climb the stairs to his own chamber unassisted, despite the fact that he was blind. On the other hand, they would all wait for their slower friend and match their steps to his as they climbed the stairs.
"Pretty soon, Ben," Flavian said. "You are going to be able to do that in under a minute. Better than 2, as it was last year," Ralph said. "That really was a bit of a yawn, Ben."
They would not resist the urge to jab at him and tease him, except perhaps Imogen.
"Even 2 is remarkable for someone who was once told he must have both legs amputated if his life was to be saved," she said.
"You are depressed, Ben."
Hugo paused mid-stretch to make the observation. Benedict shot him a glance.
"Just tired. It is late, and we are at the wrong end of our 3-week stay. I always hate goodbyes."
"No," Imogen said. "There was more than that. Ben, Hugo is not the only one to have noticed. We all have, but it has never come up during our nightly sessions."
They had sat up late most nights during the past 3 weeks, as they did each year, sharing some of their deeper concerns and insecurities, and triumphs. They kept few secrets from one another. There were always some, of course. One soul could never be laid quite bare to another person, no matter how close a friend. Ben had held his own soul close this year. He had been depressed. He still was. He felt chagrined, though, that he had not hidden his mood better.
"Perhaps we are intruding where no help or sympathy is wanted," the Duke said. "Are we, Benedict? Or shall we sit back down and discuss it? After I have just made the Herculean effort to get up, and when everyone is about to totter off to bed in order to look fresh and beautiful in the morning."
Ben laughed, but no one else shared his amusement.
"You are depressed, Ben," Vincent said. "Even I have noticed."
The others all sat again, and Ben, with a sigh, resumed his own seat. He had so nearly got away with it.
"No one likes to be a whiner," he told them. "Whiners are dead bores." "Agreed," George smiled. "But you have never been a whiner, Benedict. None of us has. The rest of us would not have put up with it. Admitting problems, asking for help, or even just for a friendly ear is not whining. It is merely drawing upon the collective sympathies of people who know almost exactly what you are going through. Your legs are paining you, are they?" "I never resent a bit of pain," Ben said, without denying it. "At least it reminds me that I still have my legs. But—" George had not himself fought in the wars, though he had once been a military officer. His only son had fought, though, and had died in Portugal. His wife, the boy's mother, perhaps overcome with grief, flung herself to her death from the cliffs at the edge of the estate not long after. When he had opened his home to the 6 of them, as well as to others, George had been as wounded as any of them. He probably still was. "I will walk. I do walk after a fashion. And I will dance one day." Ben smiled ruefully. That had always been his boast, and the others often teased him about it. No one teased now. "But—" It was Hugo this time. "But I will never do either as I once did," Ben said. "I suppose I have known it for a long time. I would be a fool not to have done so, but it has taken me 6 years to face up to the fact that I will never walk more than a few steps without my canes, plural, and that I will never move more than haltingly with them. I will never get my life back as it was. I will always be a cripple." "A harsh word, that," Ralph said with a frown. "And a bit defeatist." "It is the simple truth," Ben said firmly. "It is time to accept reality." The Duke rested his elbows on the arms of his chair and steepled his fingers. "And accepting reality involves giving up and calling yourself a cripple," he said. "You would never have got up off your bed, Benedict, if you had done that from the start."